Nintendo has had a long tradition of releasing tour games with their systems, allowing people to explore the system's features in tiny, cool, interactive games. The 3DS had the Mii Plaza, Wii had a Wii Sports, stuff like that. Well, the Switch 2 has Welcome Tour, but it's not included with the console. In fact, it's sold separately for $10. Just to make sure that that's clear, the game that is basically the Switch 2's interactive manual is going to cost people $10 to play.
According to Nintendo of America's VP, Bill Trennan, this is not an exorbitant price. But former President Reggie subtweeted out some shade by posting a previous IGN interview he had about the Wii Sports pack-in and how it's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back against its inclusion with the system.
Welcome to Necro News, the Vtuber news show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week we'll cover Schedule 1, III, Balatro, and much more. Remember to like the video because the YouTube algorithm is a fickle.
And if we get 100 likes on this video, I'll do a stream in my cat suit. Did Booster force me to watch the Minecraft movie? Yeah. Did you laugh like a child at the stupid sneak attack joke? Yes, unfortunately. And was I drunk for most of the movie? Yes, you better believe it.
Here's your 10-second Necro News review. Movie is really bad. They pay a lot of love to Minecraft, but they managed to get a lot wrong. Also, Jack Black is just playing himself. 4 out of 10. Sequel will be better. Hopefully.
Anyway, somehow, despite being a genuinely terrible movie, it's breaking records and it's become the highest grossing video game movie of all time, beating out even Mario. This is partly because children who have grown up with Minecraft can now spend adult money, like Booster. And also because of the memes.
The memes for the movie, such as Chicken Jockey, Flint and Steel, and other similarly crafted memes, have sparked a strange phenomenon of people going into theaters, screaming Chicken Jockey at the top of their lungs and throwing popcorns, soda, chickens. Why is this a thing?
Because dumb children now have grown-up money. Anyway, the director of the movie has chimed in saying, let them have fun. But if that happened when we were watching the movie, I probably would have slapped a child.
Last week was a busy week for the newer streamer bait game, Schedule 1. The drug-dealing sim came out of nowhere and surged to the top of the popular charts, beating out games like Repo, Monster Hunter, and Marvel Rivals. It got so popular, in fact, that it caught the eye of Movie Games SA, which is the developer of the rival drug lord game, Drug Dealer Simulator.
MGSA set out an investigation to verify if Schedule 1 had committed a potential infringement on its IP after receiving a legal analysis insinuating that elements of the game's plot, mechanics, and UI could have infringed.
So in true Steam user fashion, Drug Dealer Simulator got review bombed. Hard. It went from very positive to mostly positive, which is a significant amount of negative reviews. The review bombing was so bad that MGSA had to put out this on their Steam update page, which is true. There isn't a lawsuit yet, but this reeks of desperation.
According to them, they have no intention of preventing Schedule 1 from being developed or sold. They're simply investigating the possible similarity because as a public company, they could face severe consequences for negligence if they don't. Which kind of sounds like BS because there's a lot of drug selling games on Steam. But I don't know, that's the story so far, so what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
It's true, Ubisoft is just at the bottom of the ocean. In fact, did you guys know that last year a group of scientists sent 2 robots to the Titanic's wreckage and did the most detailed 3D scan of it? Well, the image is released this week. This is what it looks like. Crazy how history seems to repeat itself.
I almost thought you were going to make an Ocean Gate joke.
No, but I do have that game. We gotta play it at some point.
But what did Ubisoft do this time? Well, nothing actually. But that's kind of the problem. In episode 120, we covered how 2 Californians were suing Ubisoft over The Crew, stating that basically the game deceptively told them that they were buying a game, not a license. And with all of that, Ubisoft has decided to go ahead and move to dismiss the case. According to Ubisoft lawyers, there was no reason for players to believe that they were purchasing unfettered ownership rights in the game.
Because when I buy a banana, I'm only licensing the banana, right? I don't now own that banana. Fucking idiots. Anyway, as Ubisoft continues to die, I can only look forward to the inevitable end. Hopefully, the dismissal will be turned down so that the case can go to a jury trial, but as these things do, only time will tell. When it comes to video games, one game in particular feels like it's being bullied for its success. That game being Balatro, or Balatro, depending on how much of a grammar Nazi you are. Balatro. Despite winning multiple awards, being a favorite among literally everyone, and spurring an entire genre of games like Nubby's Number Factory, it just keeps getting beaten down somehow.
This time YouTube has gone after fellow YouTuber Balatro University, as it seems their videos are getting age restricted for depictions of gambling. This comes just after the new change to the YouTube TOS that states that they can age restrict your videos if they have depictions or promotions of online casino sites or apps, which Balatro is not.
But this is more of a YouTube problem rather than a video game one, right? Well, yes and no. Local Thunk, the creator of Balatro, is pretty sick of the game constantly getting mislabeled as a gambling game, as the game has nothing to do with gambling. He even went onto Blue Sky to say, good thing we are protecting children from knowing what a 4 of a kind is and letting them watch CS case opening videos instead, which is loot crates for CSGO, and gacha. Which actually brings up a very good point. Elle's Nikki streams weren't age restricted, and that's literally her spending real life money, like $200 of real life money. That's not gambling?
Is it considered gambling if I know the hard pity and how much I'm probably going to spend?
I mean, I know the odds in a horse race. So, yeah, it's still gambling.
Okay, anyway.
Planetside 2 is a game that's had a very painful history of updates, owner swaps, and game changes. Anyone who's played the game will tell you that the Combined Arms initiative was a disaster and caused one of the biggest drops in its player base, which is still a problem because Planetside 2 has only 2 regions in the game, European and American.
Each region had 2 servers, but not enough players to keep the player counts within the fun zone. So to help fix this, the developer, Toadman Interactive, decides to do a server merge. Traditionally, each server fights the other in a server clash, with the winning server keeping the name and the server, the other being retired.
This story, however, focuses on the American region's server clash between Emerald and Connery, a server clash that is very different in that it seems like the winner of the server clash was retired and everything was moved to the loser server. There's a couple of potential reasons for this. Maybe Emerald was a rented server while Connery's was owned by the publisher. Maybe Emerald was old. Who knows? What we do know is that Connery is definitely the new server.
How do we know this? Because players are getting a way higher ping. We're not talking like a 40 ping increase, but somewhere between 50 to 300 within the continental US. Which again, this is a first-person shooter MMO, so I think you can understand why people are pissed. Especially if they paid for a membership.
And that's where the story's at now. There's plenty of theories as to what's happening, why there are so many weird issues as a result of the merge. To their credit, Toadman Interactive have responded that they are looking into the matter, but plenty of people are skeptical. And with the game's development history and owner changes and you know how it goes, it makes sense to be skeptical. But I still like it nonetheless.
You got C4?
Boy, do I! Yeet.
What? My lord.
Told you they nerfed C4.
There were some new games announced this week, and for starters, Zun announced on the Touhou project site that Touhou 20 Fossilized Wonders will be released in August at the Summer Comiket, along with the announcement that Touhou 20 will be available on Steam.
Have you ever played a Touhou game?
Niet.
But your love of tiny hats.
Okay, and?
Play Soku with me. Fine, whatever. Well, additionally, Guns of Icarus' devs, N.U.G.s, broke their 3-year silence by posting on their Steam page to tease everyone that they are working on something where the sky is no longer the limit. Maybe spaceships, maybe the ocean, I have no idea.
And last week, we also had the III Initiative Showcase. So another game showcase that I've never heard of, and apparently Booster hasn't either.
That's correct. I have never heard of the III Initiative Showcase ever. I feel like less of a game. There were a lot of games. We're not going to go over all of them. We're just going to do the usual and highlight the ones that looked interesting to us and link everything else down below.
First up is a cute action platformer called Dusk Fade. It's similar in style to a 3D platformer from the PS2 era. The trailer shows off some really smooth platforming and nice environments. And Booster says the main character kind of looks like Sora, but like the Sora we have at home. but I think it just looks like every other generic brunette protagonist.
Whatever. Anyway, we also have Morbid Metal, which is a DMC clone, where you play as a shape-shifting robot who can change characters, weapons, mid-combo. It has all the makings of a really neato game, but it also reminds me of this game called Nello, which makes me not have a whole lot of confidence. But I want to believe that it will be cool.
And then we have Clever Pit, which is basically Balatro, but with slot machines.
Finally, we got more information about Endless Legend 2. The gameplay you're seeing is from an exclusive build that was given to us by Hooded Horse. It looks like it's going to be more of the first Endless Legend, but probably with way more polish. If it's anything like the quality of life changes that they made to Endless Space 2, well, I will probably play it at some point within my life. Or lack thereof.
This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is a fighting game called Iron Saga Versus. And that's just how I say Saga.
Well, what's better than a giant mech? Well, how about two giant mechs punching the shit out of each other? That's what Iron Saga Versus is. Saga, a spin-off from a gacha game, Iron Saga Versus is a 2D fighting game with original mechs from the gacha game itself, but also characters like Mazinger and Getter Robo. I've been watching some of the gameplay, and the combo system is pretty solid, though everything kind of looks chibi-fied. I'll probably grab it when it goes on sale, but otherwise, if you like robots, here you go.
And here are the games coming out this week. Booster and I don't know any of them, however, Lush Foil Photography Sim looks like the photography mode in Nikki, but without Nikki, so there's that.
Or the whimsicality. It looks really fucking boring. Look at these screenshots. It's nature, dude.
Nature's nice.
Nature's stupid. Anyway, here's our schedule for the week. Elle's starting Elden Ring, and we're playing that chess game, and L.A. Noire. Also, a collaboration is happening between me and a dear friend of ours on Friday where we play GTA RP, and I just drive her around places, I guess.
And that's it for this week's Necro News. As always, thank you guys for watching, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, post a camera for photography.
And as always, a very special thank you to our channel members. We really, honestly could not ask for a better community. And if you'd like to show your support for Necro News, becoming a member always gives you access to bonus content like bloopers, sneak peeks, weird crap that we decide to post. It's good stuff. But anyway, that's it. So until next time,
Goodbye.
goodbye.